Okay, so I want to talk about basic sketch technique. Sketch is one of the 5 techniques that we're learning about in this Art 1 class. And technique is a physical process or a way of doing something. So when we sketch doesn't just mean draw how you feel like it. There's a process and there's an approach that matters. And I'd like to see you try to do this. When we sketch, one, we want to use loose flowing lines. And 2, we want to use our whole arm, not just our hand. 3, we want to find the shapes, not just immediately try to get them right. A lot of times, students, some of their experience with art is you see the finished product. You see a cartoon or a movie or a comic book or manga, and you see the finished result and everything looks perfect. And you see a perfect line and a perfect shape and the big, whatever it is that you see, and everything looks like it's all done and, has a perfect contour line. But what you don't see is the process that leads up to that. You just see the end result. All artists, all painters, all cartoonists, all manga artists, all animators that make movies start with sketching, where they use this process. Now, when we sketch, one thing we want to do also is we want to come back on our pencil a little bit. A lot of times students, they hold down real close and you want to draw and you try to just move your fingers and your wrist and you want to have this tight, perfect control. But if you want to get accurate, first you have to get loose. And I want to come back a little bit on the pencil, and rather than drawing with my fingers or my wrist, I want to draw with my whole arm. Now, if you're not used to this, this is uncomfortable. This is unusual. You're not used to this, and anytime something's new, it's uncomfortable. But the first time you learn to ride a bike, it was uncomfortable. After you do it enough, you start to get used to it. So, for instance, if I wanted to sketch a circle, rather than try to get a perfect circle, which I'm not really going to get on that first try, maybe if I practiced it enough, I could. I've been drawing for years. I might be able to slow down and get something closer. Even still, that's not perfect. But if I use my whole arm and I seek the shape, I can find a perfect circle, and then maybe I could come back and refine that to get more accurate. If I wanted to draw a square, I might do that. And that's not a square, it's a rectangle. Maybe try to get no, that's still a rectangle. But if I sketch it, and I'm a little bit looser, and I can look, and I can seek it, and I'm looser, I can get a more accurate square. And notice none of these lines are perfect. They're loose, they're flowing. And the other thing we want to do is we want to be light with our lines when we sketch. I might be a little bit darker in some of my demonstrations, just so the camera can see it better. But usually when we start to sketch, we want to start light, and as we find our shape, we'll get darker as we refine it and find it. And with simple basic shapes, we can draw anything with circles and squares and cylinders and ovals. We can use those things, triangles, teardrops. We can use those to create just about anything that exists. But again, the sketch technique, and I'm not going to be at your house standing over you to make sure you do this. If you were in class with me, I'd be walking around and really encouraging you to loosen up and draw with get choked back on the pencil a little bit, draw with your whole arm, be loose, start light, seek the shape. So this is sketch technique, is this process. Physical approach to the way I'm drawing. And this is what we're going to be working on this week is developing, using the sketch technique to develop animal sketches. And we're going to use something called basic shapes and axis lines approach to sketching. So it's a way that we can figure things out. But again, loose and flowing, using your whole arm, seeking the shape, finding the shape, not just trying to be perfect from the first lines, and starting light and refining your way towards darkness as you refine things. And the more you do, the better you get. That's true for anything. So, you know, I'm seeking the line, trying to figure it out. Right now I'm just kind of playing. So, and then, you know, after you get it kind of worked out, then you start to refine things. Get the line more solid, darker, more accurate. Etc. So, sketch technique. That's where we're going. And I'm going to start another video where we talk about how we can use this basic shapes and axis lines approach to drawing.